In this Swift programming language video tutorial, we're going to be talking all about one-sided ranges and how they work, basically. I'm going to go through a whole bunch of different examples. I've tried to exhaust the list of examples so you know exactly how they work. Now, if you haven't seen the other videos on the closed range operator and the half open range operator, then then go and check these videos out as well. But this one is going to be all about the one-sided ranges and how they work. So if this ... thing is new to you, then you need to check out the closed range operator, and it'll make more sense for you as well. But more than likely by the end of the video you'll understand it anyway. So what we have here is we have an array of numbers, all right? And when we use type an annotation for it, then you see we have an array of integers. And what we're doing here is, because all arrays are passed by value, I haven't made a video out this right now, but this is just a copy now of this one array. And what we're saying is we want to make a copy starting from the second index. Remember, 1 is the 0 index, 2 is the 1 index, and then 3 is the 2 index. So it's saying start at index 2, this one here, and the ... says go all the way to the end, all right, and give me everything. It's basically, there's implicitly basically the end index number on here. So if we then said like numbers dot count -1, this is basically what it is saying there. It is saying going all the way through to the end of it. But you can leave that out because that's what it's implying here. It's a one-sided range. It's just said keep going until you find the end of it, all right? So that's what that's basically doing. You can see the output will be 3, 4, and 5. And I'm not going to print it out. So now we have an array of strings here, and Alice, Bob, Charlie, David, and Eve. And we are then iterating over them here, and you can see that we are going through, and we're starting at the second index once again. So 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, and once again it's saying go all the way through to the end. So we should see on the output Charlie, David, and Eve, because it's starting at Charlie, and then it moves to the next one, David, moves to the next one, Eve. Very, very simple, all right? And then the next example, we're taking an array of strings once again. We just check this out. You can see it's an array of strings. And then we make a new array of orange and mango. These are more fruits. And now we can append the contents of more fruits, okay, to the fruits as well. So this is going to place all of, basically, if we just removed this for the time being, it's going to add the contents of this more fruits onto the end of the fruits here. However, what we're saying is start at the first index and start at the first index here, and then continue on all the way to the end of the array. Now, in this scenario, the first index is the final index as well, so it's only going to add that one on. You can see at the end, fruits will be apple, banana, and mango. Next, we do once again numbers. Again, we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 in a integer array. And we can say numbers then. So we're basically here, what we're doing is we're making a new array, and we're just saying start from the second index, so 0 index, 1, and 2. So we're starting from 30, and we're moving all the way to the end of the array. If we added more items to this array, then they would be in this other array as well. And then finally, we are asking whether or not this one array now contains 30. And obviously it will be true, because if we start at index 2, index 0, index 1, index 2 is already 30, so this will return true because this new array does contain the integer of 30. So the next example is then an array of strings, all right? Cat, dog, elephant, and giraffe. And we can say animals remove subrange. And here we're basically saying we want to remove all elements in this one string array, starting at the first index. So cat is the 0 index, dog is the first index, elephant second, giraffe is third, and we're saying remove all elements starting at the first index, and that's basically it. So it's, and then we'll have animals, we'll just be left with cats. So if you just want to have, if you want to clear the array, then this is a great way of being able to do it. So another integer array, and we've got scores 95, 80, 75, 60, 55. And once again, we are saying make a new copy of the array, passing scores, and we're going to say start at the index of 1. So 95 is the 0 index, 80 is the first index, 75 is the second, 60 is the third index, 55 is the fourth index. And so make a new array starting at the first index and then go all the way through to the end. And as you can see here, the passing scores array will have the elements of 80, 75, 60, and 55, which we just see here. And so it will leave off the 0th index because it wasn't in there. So scores.remove at 0, this is basically saying it's kind of the same thing as doing this, is another way, and we are just saying remove in place. So it means it's mutating the scores array, and it's going to remove the 0th item, because passing scores here is a copy of scores, so we can still remove the 0 element of scores because this was a copy anyway. So temperatures, once again, is another integer array of 18, 21, 25, 28, 30, and 32. And this time what we're doing is we're saying temperatures filter, and we're kind of doing the same thing here, but we're just saying if the $0 is every single element there, so it's iterating through every element. I haven't made a video about this already, but filters like for each or for in, it's going to go through each element and it's going to check, is that one element more than equal to 25? Well, the first one, 18, is less than 25, so it's going to skip that one, so it's going to return false on this, so it's going to discard that. 21 is less than, 25 is more than equal to, so it's equal to, it's going to take that. 28, 30, and 32 are all obviously more than 25. So all of the, from the 0, 1, the second index, all the way up to the end, basically all of these, because it's been pre-ordered, all right? When we've added the elements into it, it was already pre-ordered that all of the elements after 25 were more than 25 anyway, and so hot days will be this. So this is kind of like a way to do it without having the open-sided ranges. If you want to do it imperatively using high-order functions on an array, you can do that as well. But remember, whenever you assign a new variable, be it a constant or a variable itself, then we are always passing them by value, which means that we are making a copy of them. Now, there's some other rulings in this. If you have a class or something inside of this, the array will be a new array, but the item inside of it is still obviously an object, and so on. So this is this is a video for another day. Anyway, with that said, I just want to be explicit here, is that one-sided ranges, they only work on arrays. Okay, we haven't made videos about collection types yet, but I will do in the future, and if there is, there will probably be something that you just look in the playlist and you'll see another video. But they only work on arrays. They don't work on sets or dictionaries. And strings are not arrays. Okay, strings are their own super special thing. Strings are not sets. Strings are not dictionaries. Strings are not arrays. They're sequences, and they are something special to Swift. And so, although we're using strings here in arrays, this open-sided ranges, they don't work with strings. So there's no point thinking that you can do this with strings as well. You might think that you could take this string and then say, using here, that we want to just get it from the first element in the first letter in here and go up. But this doesn't work. You can see subscript is unavailable, cannot subscript string with an integer. It doesn't work like that. You need to use the string.index because strings are their own special thing in Swift, all right, because of all Unicode values and this, that, and the other. So this, what you have to remember is that in maybe other programming languages, you know, strings and chars and so on, they fall under the same style as what an array is, but in Swift there is their own special thing. So just exclude that from any of your thoughts in this one video. Okay, with that said, I hope that you've got something out of this video. I hope you've learned something. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and obviously if you've got any questions, concerns, or feedbacks, then let's start a conversation in the comment section down below. With that said, thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you, or you hearing me, in the next video. Ciao, ciao, and goodbye.